It's time for Good Game Spawn Point.
The Hey Goose, wasn't Lawrence from News to Me supposed to be filling in while Jem's in Japan?
Good point, hang on.
What's up, guys?
Hey Lawrence, welcome to GGSP, buddy.
Thanks! I'm so excited to be on the show. I'm such a huge fan. And by the way, this set is so cool!
Lawrence!
Maybe just give him a minute. Coming up on the show,
It's a fine through pass.
we kick some goals in our review of FIFA 19.
Well, that can't be truly described as unstoppable.
And we craft up some more cardboard controllers to check out the new LABO Vehicle Kit.
Plus, I'll be checking out the story of one of the most OG arcade games around, the legendary pinball machine.
Well, we better start the show.
This is such a massive controller. Do the buttons work? Wait, does Darren live in here? Darren?
Let him tire himself out first.
Darren!
Okay, Lawrence, before we start the review, we need to give you a gamer name. For instance, I'm Goose, but my real name is Gus.
All right, I used to go by Law, but I've also gone by Gunnar as well, which is based off my surname, so take your pick.
All right, well, lace up those striking boots, Gunnar. It's time to wallop the ball in the back of the net like CR7 in the very latest FIFA 19.
Oh, what about Gunnar 7?
Ooh, that's good.
Great chance to go in front, and they have done. Oh, that could be a big goal. Comfortable catch for Areola. Ronaldo, a goal for Ronaldo.
FIFA 19 is the latest in the annual football sim series by EA Sports. And Gunnar 7, let's just go with Gunnar. I'm not sure there's a more reliable video game on the release schedule. Because there's been a new FIFA game released every single year for the last 26 years.
You would think with that many games in the bag, FIFA would have reached its final form. But EA keeps finding new things to put in the game. This time around, FIFA plays host to the official Champions League license, which had previously been a long-time staple of the Pro Evolution Soccer series. This game kicks off with a quick match featuring Cristiano Ronaldo's new club, Juventus.
Tries his luck.
And it's in these opening minutes of gameplay that you'll notice a new control feature. A tiny skill meter pops up over players' heads when you tap the shoot button. This challenges you to time a second button press to nail a sweet shot. Literally, your player hitting that sweet spot on the ball for a glorious strike. Either that or you totally miss the target if your timing's off.
It's a cool new little feature that adds a risk and reward element to taking shots on goal. But you also don't have to use it. You can just tap the shoot button as normal if you want to play like you used to. And trust me, it's gonna take some getting used to.
Yeah, but Gunnar, now I can't resist double tapping all my shots. Another feature that's new in this year's edition is the ability to set all sorts of rule variations when you jump into a quick match. It's great getting to set all sorts of crazy house rules, such as goals from outside the box being worth 2, or playing no rules where anything goes.
Bonaventura.
I mean, who needs to know the offside rule when you can just turn it off?
Now look, some might say that's cheating, but I reckon it makes it perfect for couch play. Anything that makes a game more outwardly fun gets a big old tick from me. Plus, I love where they've taken the story mode this year. Called the Journey Champions, you actually get to switch between playing all 3 characters now. Alex Hunter, his mate Danny Williams, or Hunter's stepsister Kim. They've all got their own personal story to play through, and something different to fight for. Oh, and sometimes you'll even need to choose who to play as in a crucial match.
Here we go.
Having 3 characters also just adds more variety to the gameplay, so you're not always stuck in that repetitious loop of training, match day, training again. Kim is playing for the Women's World Cup America squad.
Ready?
Alex is becoming a household name after signing to Real Madrid.
You have the shirt. Now you have to earn the right to wear it.
And Danny is still trying to get noticed in the Premier League.
I love Danny. He's an absolute goofball just like me, and he's an underdog.
It's nice to see people appreciating the Williams.
The Journey Champions also adds a new mentor system, which allows you to partner your character with superstar teammates to improve specific stats. You also get to choose if you want to control these mentors during a game as well as your player, which can be confusing sometimes with half the team being controlled by the AI. I never quite got my head around playing catch-up with who I was in control of, although it does give the Journey matches a different feel.
So I usually choose to play as just the solo character in these matches, even though it can get a little lonely waiting to get your chance on the ball. I did also notice that in the story scenes, there seemed to be a lot of pop-ups to show how past decisions or match outcomes from the last game have affected the story in this game.
Like I said, I'm a woman of my word. 5-year contracts from Real Madrid on the table.
That is pretty cool, and it's a really good payoff for anyone that's stuck with the journey so far.
Well, this is the third and final chapter in the story, so I'm sure we're all expecting a dramatic finish.
Yeah.
But tell me, what did you think of the way FIFA 19 feels overall, Gunnar?
I love how snappy and responsive it feels.
Now, Matuidi.
Players seem to control the ball better than ever, never getting stuck on weird animations, and there was some really cool details like flicks or feints that make it feel way more realistic.
Muller.
After you've played FIFA for a while, you can start to see the same behavior patterns in the AI, but this year they've added way more crazy, random stuff, which is just awesome.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what they've tweaked, but there just seems to be more variety in the scoring opportunities.
Aguero
And the keepers can pull off some pearlers.
must take the lead here. How did he save that?
There's also some very impressive player likenesses. And of course, heaps of crazy celebrations.
Tactics have played a part. Look, he won't forget that for the rest of his life.
We should wrap this up though. Final thoughts, Gunnar?
I love FIFA 19, and I'm not even a massive football fan. EA sure know how to make a really playable, intuitive football sim. Plus, I really like the addition of those silly house rule settings. That's gonna add a lot of replayability. I'm giving it 4 out of 5 rubber chickens.
I'm sure more hardened football nuts out there might find their small gripes with FIFA 19 over time, but I have to agree with you. This is just so easy to play, and the journey mode is extremely well put together. I'm also giving it 4 out of 5 rubber chickens. Okay, Lawrence, let's work on this gamer tag. G-Law, El Diablo.
I'm thinking the Loch Ness Gunnar.
Might be hard to fit in a scoreboard, though. So I hear Rad was eating ice cream on last week's scoop. Might there be any delicious treats back there for Goosey? Oh, thanks, guys. I'll eat that later. Anyway, time to get scooping. And first up, it's been a long time coming, but Sony have finally announced they'll allow crossplay for selected third-party content on the PlayStation 4. This means that those playing certain multiplayer games on PS4 would no longer be restricted from playing with those on other platforms. It may take some time before a decent range of games support this feature, but it's certainly a big step forward. Next up, Xbox also dropped some announcements recently, including the news that mouse and keyboard support is coming, which could be an interesting development for developers. New Xbox avatars are also launching with a focus on more inclusivity in the customization options. And we heard about some Forza Horizon 4 post-release updates, including a route creator and themed cars. So it looks like there's quite a bit on the horizon. Moving on, and a super speedy speedrunner has achieved a Super Mario Bros. Record previously only thought possible using tool assistance. The speedrunner, known as Cosmic D12, used a precision warp pipe trick in World 1-2, knocking the record down to the 4:55-second zone.
I cannot believe it!
What?
1 small second for Cosmic D12, 1 giant leap for human speedrunning. And finally, Minecon Earth 2018 was live streamed last weekend. Some of the highlights from the event included the announcement of the next big update theme, Village and Pillage, pandas and more cats will be introduced, Tiger took out the vote for next biome to be updated, and we also heard about a whole new action-adventure game inspired by classic dungeon crawlers called Minecraft Dungeons, due out next year. I don't know what I'm more excited about. Oh, who am I kidding? It's the cats. Now for the extra scoop. We heard earlier about a Super Mario Bros. Speedrun, but what about a no-coin run? Sieve Gaming recently completed a run of New Super Mario Bros. U without touching a single coin. I guess this goes to show that money really isn't everything, and if you have something you think would make a good extra scoop, then let us know here. Alright guys, how are we gonna crack this coconut? We got anything easy to eat? What is this? A dragon fruit? I think I'll stick with a coconut.
Think of pinball machines and you might think of a mainstay of video game arcades everywhere, or just a way to kill some time in a fish and chip shop or bowling alley. But what you might not know about pinball is that it has a dark and sordid history, in which it was banned in the United States for almost 30 years. So what could a machine of clanging sounds and flashing lights do that was so bad? Well, I've got a handful of quarters and I'm headed to the Seattle Pinball Museum to find out. Charlie Martin is a local collector and owner here at the museum, which has been running since 2010. So he knows a thing or two about pinball.
Pinball machines were derived from a game called Bagatelle that was played in the court of Louis XIV, I believe, and when the French soldiers came to the United States, they brought it along. The Americans, being clever fellows and very inventive, decided that they were going to make some improvements on it. It's definitely come a long ways from its humble beginnings.
Pinball was banned for a period in the United States. Why was that?
In the 40s, pinball was, taken off in popularity. After the Great Depression, people needed things to do in the United States, and they were creating these games. And so these small machines really were everywhere, and they started thinking, well, we need to get these off the counters and into more full-size machines. So they came up with machines that were quasi-gambling devices. And at the time, in 1940s New York, Mayor LaGuardia decided that these devices were a bad influence, probably because there was some influence by organized crime. This was gambling, and they didn't want to expose children to it. And in reality, it was probably because the government wasn't getting their slice of the pie.
That's very interesting. You never think of pinball as being related to like organized crime or gambling, really.
Oh yeah, it definitely was. It kind of went underground for 30 years or so, in the back rooms of, pool halls and speakeasies and barber shops and gambling dens, and popularity started growing. So the manufacturing consortium had a vested interest in making these mainstream again. So they contacted a gentleman by the name of Roger Sharp, and they arranged to have a demonstration to show the New York City commissioners that pinball machines are not a game of chance or luck, rather a game of skill.
Roger Sharp was asked to demonstrate the point on a different machine than originally planned. But even on this unfamiliar machine, he was able to accurately call and execute the shot, changing the course of pinball history.
Roger is forever known as the man that saved pinball in the United States.
And what do you think it is about pinball that's so compelling?
Pinball really has the complete package. It really taps into 3 of the 5 senses. Pinball machines are kind of designed either for flow, which is just continual motion, or designed for stop-and-go action. I've only got 4 minutes to, go to my pinball place, as opposed to a flow game that it takes you on this extended journey.
So what do you think makes a good pinball machine?
You have to start with a very good team, because a pinball machine is not made by one person. They're really compilative works of kinetic art that everybody has to be spot on their job. And probably one of the best pinball machines ever made is over my shoulder here, called the Addams Family. Made 21,000 of those machines. This is in 1992 or 93, and they created a masterpiece.
Where do you see the future of pinball going from here?
I think pinball is going to try to become a little bit more mainstream. Hopefully you'll see more and more pinball machines in people's homes, and maybe in more of the family entertainment centers, maybe more onto continents that are seriously deprived of them, like Australia.
Can I ask you one more question?
Of course.
Can we play some pinball?
I'm afraid I'm going to have to insist.
Do it.
Are you ready to play?
Welcome to the Ask SP desk. It is a magical place where questions get answers.
This place sounds so magical, and I'm so happy to be here, Rad. I'm ready, and dare I say it, I'm raring to go.
Yeah, good. I like the energy. But while it is quite a magical place, there are some rules that must be adhered to. Rule number 1, I don't actually remember. Maybe we should call Darren.
Yes, that'd be such a good idea. I love Darren, but how's my hair? Should I be wearing a suit? Should I be wearing a tie? I really want to impress him.
Oh, your hair looks amazing, but Darren's not actually going to see you because we're calling him on the phone and he's a robot. He doesn't have eyeballs.
All right.
Hello, this is Darren.
Hi, Darren. It's Rad here with Gunnar, you know, Lawrence, and we're at the Ask SP desk.
Hi, Darren. I love your work.
Hello, Lawrence. Welcome to the Ask SP desk. Now, has Rad let you know about our guidelines? Oh, great hair, by the way.
Actually, Darren, that's why I was calling. I was hoping you could give Gunnar all the details.
Ah, affirmative. I've actually just added some appendices to the official Ask SP manual. The hand, if you would. You should have a really thorough read-through, including all footnotes and fine print before attempting to answer any question.
Whoa.
Thanks, Darren. We will definitely make sure that we definitely do that. Definitely. Thanks. Bye.
Rad, this is really heavy.
Oh, don't worry. That's more of suggestions and guidelines more than rules. I didn't read it either. Okay, let's get stuck in with this first question from Aaron. Hi, GGSP. I have 2 questions. 1, is there a way to finish Stardew Valley? 2, what are your fave multiplayer games on the PC? Thanks. Thanks, Aaron. To your first question about if there's a way to finish Stardew Valley, well, this might be a bit spoilery, so I'll try to keep it a little vague. There is an evaluation of sorts that happens at a particular point of the game. This is often considered to be a kind of ending for the main story that runs through Stardew.
But you don't have to finish there, right? I mean, you can keep playing after that to pursue different achievements, have a go at multiplayer, or just continue your work on your dream farm. And who knows, maybe there will be updates or DLC to come that extends the story.
Oh yeah, that would be so cool. As for our favorite multiplayer games on PC, well, aside from Stardew Valley, it's no secret that I love Dota 2. I also love the kitchen antics from Overcooked 1 and 2. Oh, and Towerfall Ascension is also a really enjoyable multiplayer experience, as we saw when Dallas stopped by the GGSP studio. What about you, Gunnar?
Oh, Rad, I've always enjoyed the car meets soccer fun of Rocket League, and the co-op mode in Portal 2 was pretty cool. Plus, after checking out Goose's Minecraft stream recently, I'm actually really digging a bit of Minecraft.
And I dig that you just made a digging pun. Moving on now, and it's a video question from Ice Yoshi.
GGSP, I have a few questions for you. 1, will any new games come out on the Wii except the Just Dance series? 2, when will Just Dance 2019 be out? 3, will the games Super Mario Odyssey and Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle come out on the Wii? And for my final question, is Sonic on Mario Kart Wii? Thanks, bye.
Thanks, Ice Yoshi. In answer to your first question of whether there will be any new games coming out on Wii aside from Just Dance, well, probably not. Never say never, but I haven't heard of any plans, and I think it's highly unlikely.
I agree, Rad. Even though the Wii was a hugely successful console in its day, its technology is now a little dated, and production of the Wii was discontinued a few years ago, too.
Exactly. In fact, I think it's kind of funny that the Just Dance games continue to be available for the OG Wii. Though I guess that is good news for the Wii owners out there who like to boogie.
As for when Just Dance 2019 will be out, it's currently due for release towards the end of October.
Now, to whether Super Mario Odyssey and Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle will come out on the Wii. I very much doubt this too. I would think that because these games were developed with the capabilities of the Switch in mind, a console as old as the Wii might not be able to handle them.
Yeah, and it's usually more the case that older games might make their way in some form to a newer console rather than the other way around.
Indeed. Now, onto your final question of whether Sonic is in Mario Kart Wii. Well, I don't think he is. I've seen talk of mods floating around the internet, but as far as I'm aware, he is not officially playable in the Wii version.
Ooh, hey Red, can we do one more? I really want to try out the Battle Royalty I've seen you guys do, and this one just so happens to be from... Yes, the queen of video games who's inside all arcade machines and computers.
All
of them. Hello, good game. I have one question for you. 1, can you download Subnautica on Windows 10? That is all I have to say. I'm out. PS Rad, do these.
Thanks, Queen of Video Games. Whoa, nice one, Gunnar. The simple answer is yes, you should be able to download Subnautica on Windows 10.
shouldn't have gone so deep.
Now, I think we're out of time. Lawrence, would you care to wrap things up?
I would love to. If you have a question for Ask SP, head to... Ooh, I really hope I do this right. Head right here. Oh, that is so cool. Also, if you've made a video question and it gets selected, you might just score yourself a GGSP pin. Hey, Rad, can I get one of those pins?
Well, did you send in a video question?
Not yet. I will, though.
I'm just kidding. Of course you can. I hereby bestow upon you the honor of being an Ask SP answerer, royalty bearer, and general legend.
Oh, this is so awesome. I'd like to thank all my family and my friends, and you, Rad, and Goose, and Darren, and...
Oh, boy, I guess I can guess who that is. Hello?
Hi, Rad. Just checking if Lawrence has finished reading the manual. I've devised a special test for him to make sure he's absorbed it all.
Yes, of course, a test. We'll be right on our way to... That's probably for the best. Don't do the test.
Okay, should we?
Yeah, let's go.
Nintendo's Do-It-Yourself Labo is back to let the cardboard creativity continue with its latest, a vehicle kit.
If you haven't played with Labo before, it's basically like a craft kit mixed with a video game. Using the provided cardboard sheets and following instructions on your Switch, you build various holders for your Joy-Cons, which turns them into controllers. In the case of the vehicle kit, you get a car, a plane, and a submarine.
Whilst all three use the same pedal for accelerating, the car is controlled by a wheel, the plane uses a joystick, and the submarine has two clicky wheels that you turn? I'll admit, I've never driven a submarine, but I'm not sure this is how they're controlled.
Oh, well, what's a video game without a little creative license?
Interestingly enough, submarines are actually controlled by two persons simultaneously, a helmsman and a planesman. The helmsman uses a yoke wheel to change the angle
Darren,
of...
you're just a fount of knowledge. We could really use you on News to Me.
Oh, really, Gunnar? I'll pack my bags right away.
He's not really going to go to News to Me, is he?
Oh, I don't know. I don't have that sort of hiring power. But anyway, even though the controllers aren't true to life, they're really complex, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, especially the steering wheel. Not only do you have a wheel with 360 degrees of motion, but there are all manner of levers to pull and turn. You need to be precise when putting it all together because it works in perfect unison. I'm still always so impressed with the engineering in Labo.
It's so clever, isn't it? And I like how the instructions are super clear and let you move at your own pace.
No, it's still far too slow for me. I need like quadruple speed fast forward. But out of all the Labo kits I've built, this is probably the most fun. The three controllers feel big enough to get stuck in, but there's lots of natural rest points. You'll also need to construct the Joy-Con key, which you use to slip the Joy-Con in and out of various vehicles to take control of them.
Labo usually does a really good job with reinforcing for maximum durability, but the key does feel a little bit flimsy. There are other bits and pieces too, like the spray can, which lets you paint your in-game vehicle.
I hated the spray can. The controls make it nearly impossible to position the pieces how you want them, and the spray is hardly precise. I wanted to write GGSP on mine, but I simply could not. The color options aren't even good either. If you're gonna put something like that in the game, at least make it good.
Yeah, and speaking of game, Labo games have not been the most impressive in the past, so what did you think about them this time round?
Well, you can definitely tell they're trying to add more in. There's a few fun little games, most of which are variations on car racing, and some are even multiplayer. However, everyone will need Labo cardboard controllers to play, which means everybody needs a kit.
Unless you're clever enough to make one from your mate's kit, but they seem a little bit too complex and complicated for that.
Yeah, it'd certainly be a fun project to try, but I think you'd be hard-pressed to get it working as well as the real deal.
There's also an open-world main game called Adventure Mode. Here you can switch between your three vehicles to explore and complete mini-quests, such as popping balloons or taking citizens to their destinations. You'll mostly use the car, and you can change the side attachments to do different things. But that's as complex as it gets. It's all pretty simple.
Yeah, too simple. I just didn't find it much fun. You have to use the car to do most things, and each area looks different, but essentially has the same quests. Plus, the vehicle control isn't tight enough to feel fun just zipping around. I definitely got a thrill the first time I switched between all the vehicles, but it doesn't take long for it to feel like wacky nonsense.
But it's still worth it for the build part, right?
Yeah. I love doing craft and working with my hands. Building Labo makes me feel creative and clever, and I still love the aha moment when it all comes together. As a kid, building this with my grown-ups would be a dream. But then the game just isn't up to scratch. But what did you think overall?
I kinda liked it. Sure, it's simple, but the magic of spinning around on screen using a wheel I built myself is still super cool. And you can use the wheel in Mario Kart. Look, the magic is still there for me. I'm giving the vehicle kit 3.5 out of 5 rubber chickens.
See, I'm still super torn because building Labo is so much fun. It's so clever. But then the games just aren't really good enough yet. I'm giving it 2.5 out of 5 rubber chickens. Well, that's it for the show. Thanks for coming in and helping out, Lawrence. Oh, I mean, Gunnar.
I think you mean the Loch Ness Gunnar. And honestly, no worries, I had such a good time. Whenever you need someone to come along and play games, call me. I'm always down.
Good to know. Next time on Good Game Spawn Point, we go on an epic road trip through the seasons and the scenic British countryside in our review of Forza Horizon 4. Plus, we have a Super Mario Party.
In the meantime, be sure to catch up on everything we've been up to online, like my guide on the best Mario Kart setups. And come check out our live streams every Friday at 4 p.m.
A few weeks back, I actually jumped into a live stream playing Minecraft with Goose, and a bunch of you spawnlings made some crazy creations.
You mean the giant toilet full of turtles? It flushes! The turtles are in the toilet now. I'm sorry, that threw me. I'm like, this is getting weird.
It was a piece of modern art. Until I see you next time, be nice, have fun, and keep gaming. Lawrence out.
Rat out.
Goose out.